It is Tuesday, October 10th in the MLB. Our two favorite picks are on the way. Postseason baseball is still here. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. Kind of cooled off of our great MLB postseason start at 0-2 day. Let's talk about it a little bit, and then we'll dive into today's picks. Now, I have the Bohm and Acuna hit parlay. It was agonizing to watch in person as Bohm got a first at-bat hit, and then Acuna went 0 for 2. Then they walked him. Then they hit him. It was just terrible. But the game was electric. So if you were at the Braves game, that was a crazy game. I know Logan's not feeling great about that one. And then the Dodgers minus a half in the first 5. The Dodgers now pushed to the brink of elimination, losing both at home. They did not show up against Zach Allen, and Bobby Miller gave up those runs early. Never got anything going against them. But an 0-2 day, like I said, we're still 8-4 this postseason. That was a really good run. We're going to keep it going. We only do 2 picks for that reason. We don't want to force, 6 picks into only a couple games. We got 2 games on today. We'll give you our favorite picks. Now, before we dive into it, I do want to talk about on their second channel, I will have our Rays playoff game. Went to a game last week. We'll post that video. I thought the video came out really well. So if you want to go check that out, it'll be on the second channel later on today, probably around lunchtime, probably around 12 p.m. Eastern. So go check out that. I'll link it at the end of this one. But Logan, you're going to go to that Orioles-Rangers series, that game that the Orioles need to win in the worst way. Who will you be backing? Because you're taking the money line in this one. Who are you going with?
I'm picking a side, and I'm taking the Orange Birds. I'm taking the Orioles on the money line, plus 120 odds on FanDuel. Currently your best value there. Now, if you're looking at this game and you're looking at like what your gut says the Rangers should probably win, right? They stole both games at Baltimore. They looked very impressive in game 2. But guys, the value is on Orioles to avoid getting swept. I don't care what you want to say. Taking a juice Rangers money line is against everything I believe in baseball betting. All season long, I've never taken a juice money line like that. I just refuse to do it because in baseball, it's just things are just way too random. And if you've been taking, underdogs in the playoffs, if you've been, riding the plus value trends, well, then you've been up pretty well because a lot of these underdogs in the playoffs win. see last night's Dodgers game for an example right there. The Dodgers technically needed that game more. Did they get it? No, they didn't get it. The Diamondbacks still won as underdogs. And I'm still thinking that the underdog trend can be alive in this one because, the Orioles, I never pick baseball based on the team that needs it more because that's stupid. But I know they do need it more. Like that's the obvious fact here. They're facing Nathan Eovaldi today. Nathan Eovaldi, 3.7 ERA and a 1.11 WHIP for Eovaldi. Eovaldi pitched a masterclass, 6 2/3 innings, pitched 1 earned run against Tampa in his first postseason game this year. He was really good. Eovaldi is a primetime postseason pitcher. We know that. Like that's well established. He is very good in the postseason. Against Eovaldi, though, the Orioles are hitting 264 and 143 plate appearances. That's kind of big because you have to remember where he pitched prior to Texas. He was a Boston Red Sox pitcher, and we know there was definitely some familiarity with several of these Orioles hitters because they were in the same division as Eovaldi back then. Even when they're pitching self-destructed in game 2, the Orioles don't have quit in them, and they cut the lead in that game to 3. They made it look a little bit closer in the box score. If there's anything I know about, this Orioles team, it's they really do not quit. I would be surprised if they somehow just roll over in this elimination game. The Orioles were road warriors in the regular season. Baltimore was 4th in runs, 5th in hits on the road, and had a record of 52 and 29. They were no strangers to playing on the road. It was one of those weird, statistical things where they were actually a lot worse at home than they were on the road. Here they find themselves on the road in an elimination game. Are they going to bring the bats against Nathan Eovaldi? I do really think they will. I think they'll get some hits and runs up on him. And I think it was it's kind of like the Montgomery effect. They still got hits and runs up on Jordan Montgomery. I kind of knew they would. I think we're going to see that same thing against Nathan Eovaldi because the Rays are just poverty. They tried out a terrible lineup. Whatever he did against the Rays, good for him. But this is a very talented Orioles lineup, 1 through 9. They'll be ready and bringing the bats today. Now the question is, can we get a good start out of Dean Kramer? Dean Kramer, 3.73 ERA and a 1.39 WHIP on the road. Some okay numbers for Dean Kramer. He's been, up and down most of the year. He faced the Rangers back in May, went 6 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 3 earned runs in that one. And he's not, I guarantee you, he does not go that far into this game. The Orioles have actually, weirdly enough, given Dean Kramer run support all season long. Now would be a very bad time to buck that trend. If you look at most of Dean Kramer's starts, The Orioles are scoring 6+ runs in a lot of them. And I doubt Dean Kramer goes very deep into this game. His outs line set to 10.5. You normally you don't see outs line set that low. I think they're not going to pitch him several times through the order. Why would you? Because if you do, then you risk the Dean Kramer hit parade that we've seen a few times this year. So I think they're going to be careful with Dean Kramer, and I think that gets us into the bullpens. Texas has a stronger bullpen in the postseason so far. Through 4 games of the playoffs, they have a 2.45 ERA compared to Baltimore's 5.4 ERA. But this channel is called Calling Our Shot for a reason. I'm calling my shot right now, and I'm telling you the Rangers bullpen is going to blow this game late. What evidence do I have for that? Well, in the regular season, they were 24th in bullpen ERA at a 4.77. And I still know there's several characters out of that Rangers bullpen that have the ability to sell late game. I've seen it before. They bring in Spores, watch out. They bring in Chapman. If Chapman's not dialed in, watch out. Several of those guys, they come in and I if I had Rangers money line, I wouldn't be feeling all that great to see them come out on the mound. And I just know the Orioles, they've been a magical team all season long. They didn't get to where they got by accident. They need some magic, they need some luck, and they need some timely hitting in this one for sure to stay alive and force a game 4, which is, I think, exactly what they do. And tomorrow, I'll probably be on the Rangers. If they do force a game 4, I'll be on the Rangers tomorrow because I just think that's the sensible bet. But I think the Orioles got at least one more in them, and I'm riding the Orange Birds money line. But Austin, where are you going for your pick?
Yeah, I mean, the Orioles, we think about a team that really hasn't been swept in a long, long time. So I could see them coming out and getting the win. Also worth noting, this is the first Rangers home postseason game. So we'll see maybe if the bats were just so hot on the road, well, maybe they dry up a little bit at home. I don't know. Baseball's wonky, so that certainly could happen. Now, I'm obviously going to the other game where the Astros and Twins are in that Game 3 series tied 1-1. It's been a pretty good series so far. I'm going to actually take a pitcher prop in this one. I'm going Sonny Gray over 14.5 outs, which is -125 on BetMGM. If you've never bet an outs prop, this means that Sonny Gray needs to go 5 innings pitched. If he does not do that, we'll lose this bet. And personally, I'd probably play it up to about -140, -145. I think this is a really good one. Now, if it gets any more juice than that or moves up to 15.5, I would not take it. I really do think he lands right on 5 innings pitched, and I think that's kind of what the Twins need out of Sonny Gray tonight. But you look at Gray, and while I don't love taking outs props in the playoffs because, like Logan kind of talked about, Dean Kramer, normally a guy that probably goes 5 or 6 innings pitched, he ain't doing that today. And normally you'll see them kind of give longer leashes in the regular season. Obviously, in the postseason, you're taking guys out early. If they show signs of, ooh, this guy's not looking good, we'll take him out. But I still do think they don't, take Sonny Gray out early unless a couple things happen. Either one, he's just getting rocked. He gives up like 3 or 4 on runs. Or 2, you maybe see the Astros run up his pitch count, and he's in like the 95 pitches in the 4th inning. But I think a guy like Gray, normally pretty efficient, he could average 20 pitch innings, which still isn't very good, and still get to this 5+ innings pitch because this is not a guy that, maxes out at 75, 80 pitches. So they're willing to throw him out to 100. And I think he's going to give us 5 innings pitch, solid innings pitch today. And we look at Gray, enters the game with a 2.79 ERA and a 1.15 whip. His stats at home, a little bit better, 2.67 ERA and a 1.1 whip. The Astros have seen a bunch, 145 plate appearances versus him, a 22.2 K percentage, a 9 walk percentage, and, 0.221 expected batting average. So they don't really have the best splits against him. And I think at the end of the day, you look at a guy like Gray, we need him to avoid the walks. His walks have been better at home than it has been on the road. He's already pitched twice against the Astros this season. One of them, he went 6 innings pitched, allowed 1 or 3 earned runs on 79 pitches. So easily got that line done. And then the other one, he went 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 98 pitches. I think that was the game he had 13 strikeouts. A very, very good game. But we saw in Gray's first postseason start, he hit this line, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 earned run, 6 Ks, only 85 total pitches in that one. So the Blue Jays did kind of run up that pitch count. But look, if he could get through 5 innings pitched with 85 to 95 pitches, he could, I don't care how inefficient he is today, we just need 5 innings pitched. And this is the guy that when you think about postseason baseball, you think about their kind of game plan here. You're normally kind of trying to sit on one pitch, trying to find that pitch and time it up. With a guy like Gray, it's kind of hard to do that. He has 6 pitches, and while the fastball is the one he throws the most at, like 27%, wouldn't be surprised if we see them sit in fastball, and maybe he's just painting the corners with other pitches. His notable one is the sweeper, which he has like a 40% K percentage on and a 40% whiff rate. So I think at the end of the day, you look at Gray, he had a great hit rate for this prop, 5+ innings pitched in 28 of 32 starts. One of the misses, he would have gone it. It was just his final start of the season. They took him out after 55 pitches. So personally, if the line was like 15.5, no chance I'm taking it. But the fact we're getting 14.5, I think the Twins will go out there, get him 5 innings pitched. They're not backs against the wall. So, even if he is not pitching too well, they'll still probably give him a longer leash than, let's say, if this was like a game 5, they're taking him out early, or like a brink of elimination like the Orioles, they take him out early. But we've already seen Pablo Lopez cook this Astros team. He had 7 innings pitched. I'm not saying Greg goes out there and throws 7 innings pitched. That's probably not happening. But Bailey Ober had 3 innings pitched, and it was on 43 pitches. He did give up 3 earned runs, but Ober has a much shorter leash than a guy like Gray. They trust Gray out there. And personally, I just think you want to get him at least 5 innings pitched. That we're throwing all teams play tomorrow. So it's not like you can empty the bullpen and say, hey, you guys got a day off. They play tomorrow too. So I think they'll be able to get some run support up on Christian Javier. Probably doesn't go too far into this one. I really do think Sonny Gray gets us at least 5 innings pitched, over 14.5 outs. I think it's a pretty good prop. I don't normally like taking pitcher props, but I think this is a pretty safe one for this game. But that's going to wrap up our favorite picks. Logan, do you have any lean on who you think wins this Twins and Astros game? Because we didn't talk about it. We're not putting our money on it, but I'm curious who you lean in this one. I think the Twins are, minus 130-ish on the money line. Who do you lean in this one?
Yeah, I do think I think returning home to Minnesota in this one's going to be pretty big for the Twins. Yeah, I would lean Twins in that one. I think Astros at plus money. Anytime you see that, that's pretty suspect. Christian Javier, while I do think he has a decent start in this one, that's not the guy I want my money on. He's not the strongest pitcher in that Astros rotation. So again, the Astros definitely aren't going to empty their bullpens either, to help him if he is floundering. It's one of those games that I think the Twins get. Maybe the Astros even in it back up in game 4, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar to that Rangers game where you don't really want to take a juiced Twins money line. That's just not something we really want to give out. But I think the outs prop is an easier way. He could get us 5 innings pitched, even not pitch great. I think get it done. So let's try to go 2-0. Let's try to continue this postseason good run we've had so far, and hopefully let us know your favorite picks down below. I'll link the Rays video when it is live on the channel somewhere above the screen. And hopefully you guys have a great Tuesday. We'll be back in tomorrow with some more picks where we got 4 games on. We'll see you guys later. It's Austin and Logan. We're signing out. Let's get to 2-0, and we'll see you guys. I'll be back at home tomorrow in our normal editing and normal place. We'll see you then. Peace.